Hey guys, so most of you know that I was going to audition for The Christmas Carol, a musical that's going to be going on in a theater near where I live. Joe is the one that talked me into auditioning in the first place. When I went to the audition, I needed to go in, sing for 60 seconds, and then after that, after everybody's sung, you go in and you do cold reads where they pull a few people up to the stage, say you're gonna read this, and you read it. Well, that sounds simple enough, doesn't it? Until you add in the fact that I got there and I was shaking literally like this. And I could hardly stand up. I felt like I was going to pass out. I could not breathe. My voice was shaking and my entire body was sweating. And I couldn't really think because have you ever had like an entire pot of extra strength coffee and try to focus on doing like a really hard math problem or something? That's about how my brain felt. So I get there and there are, the first night, 55 people auditioned. So I get there and there are a couple of people that I know, not very many, and most of them are teenage girls. And they pull you into the first room and I'm sitting there, I filled out a paper, and on that paper there's a place where you're supposed to put in theater experience, and I don't have any theater experience. Whew. And so I turned in my paper and I sat there waiting and waiting and waiting, and about an hour and a half after I got there, I got to go in and sing. The first night I Dreamed a Dream from Les Mis. I know it's really, really original and all, like, stop it guys, I know. Anyways, it sounded kind of like "But the tigers died," but a lot quieter, because that's what happens when I get in front of people. I already have a very unreliable voice, but if you put me in front of people and ask me to sing, then it doesn't happen. I just kind of shriek. So that happens, and I'm still shaking and I still can't think, and I've pretty much lost total control of my body. And we finally get through with people singing for their auditions, and we go into the next room, and they start calling out names and saying, here, take that script and read it, you know? And so finally my name is called, and my face won't move. They're looking for loudness and emotion, and I kind of talked like this the whole time and really quietly because, you know, you have to actually breathe to project your voice if you didn't know that. And when you're in front of people having a panic attack, no, it doesn't work. So I finally get done with that. And then I get to leave and I go out to my car, and it's been an emotionally draining day, and I knew that I did horrible in auditions, and I just start crying and crying harder than I have in at least a year. And I can't stop crying, and I almost wreck on my way home, which would not have been a good thing. So I get home and I'm crying, and my mom says, "What happened? What's wrong?" I say, "Mom, it's terrible." So she's like, "But are you going tomorrow?" Because there were auditions the next day too. I'm like, "No, I'm never going back." She's like, "You're going." And so I ended up going back and re-auditioning, and the next night I did Wishing You Were Somehow Here Again from Phantom. Phantom is one of the few musicals I've actually seen, but it is my favorite, and it was so bad. It was almost worse than the night before, and at least the night before I had a better excuse, but this time I was shaking again, and there were only like 20 people that auditioned that night, but I still did horribly. But then afterwards, after auditions, I went out. I was with Joe and this other guy that I know, and then a guy that I didn't know. And we ended up talking for about 2 hours afterwards, and now I have a new friend. And then the cast list came out the next day. Joe calls me and she's like, "You're an ensemble," where they put everyone who cannot sing or act because they don't want to say, "No, you didn't get a part." They just put you there because that's the way this theater works. So I learn I'm in ensemble, and like, I really don't think that I can actually even handle doing that. I'm not going to do this. I'm done. Theater is not for me. And I told Joe that, and then we go to the same university, and we were talking in the parking lot, and I said, you know what, if you get 3 people that, basically what I said, 3 people that I don't really know to call me, the rules were it can't be her, it cannot be anybody we go to church with, because we met at church and that's where we have all of our mutual acquaintances, and it could not be her parents. So 3 people that I did not know had to call me and tell me to do it. Well, as I'm standing there, 3 people call me and tell me to do it. And so I'm like, now I have to do the thing. And so that is how far I have gotten with this. And I'm sort of excited because I know that I'm going to learn new things about the world, about theater, about people, about myself. And I'm also quite terrified because this is something I've never done before. And I am afraid that I will not be able to control my body again, and everybody's going to hate me, and they might stone me to death. That's a legitimate fear, isn't it? Comment below and tell me something that you did that you were absolutely terrified of doing. Tell me something that you did and thought you'd regret, but you didn't, and something that you've done that you did end up regretting. Thanks for watching!